What's up, guys? It's Maddox Lotus here, and I'm bringing you guys along on a very special surf session to this wave called Riffles, located in the Mentawais at this island called Kandui. Now, we're heading out, and the beautiful thing about staying at Kandui is you don't have to paddle out to the waves. Now, that's for two reasons. Because you can. They offer dinghies whenever you want to go surf, but also paddle outs are pretty far. So, not complaining with jumping right off the boat. A couple of the Indo boys, though, they were like, "Hey, we want to go surf this little wave over here." So they hopped on. Pretty funny. You don't see this really anywhere in the world, or at least I don't see it in Hawaii, but the local boys are just smoking their cigarettes before they go surfing. I thought that was kind of wild. Definitely a bit of a culture shock. Now we're heading out there, though, and we see a rainbow just landing right on the peak at Riffles. Made me feel like we were going to the pot of gold, which I think we were. The beautiful thing about the Mentawais is you're hopping in the water and there's no cold shock factor. It's just warm, warm, warm. So not a problem jumping off the boat ever. And so we just made it to the pot of gold, and we definitely found it, because right here, this wave goes for like, I don't even know how many 100 yards, but definitely a lot of 100 yards. So it goes all the way down the reef, and yeah, so I sit there for about 10 minutes, and then all of a sudden the boys call me into this wave, and this was very exciting. The first real wave I ever caught at Riffles was an absolute nug. Now, the best way I could describe this is like a backdoor wave that just keeps going and going. So here I fade it, and I don't really know how to read this wave, so I cut a little too deep, and then you can see the boils there. I should have just been on the gas pumping, but I hit this foam ball and violently got thrown around, kind of like maybe what I could imagine a car accident like, or falling down a mountain or something. But you're going so fast down the reef on these waves that when you hit the foam ball, it's so violent and turbulent that, yeah, it definitely smokes you. But the nice thing is there's so much adrenaline involved with this wave, because, I mean, it's absolutely insane how long it is that you forget about the wipeout and you're just like, I need to get back to the peak, because you got to get your redemption on, you know what I mean? So, we make it back out to the lineup, and I don't know what happened. My GoPro started recording midway through this wave, and I'm just pumping. Got a little too deep and did a violent backflip again. I don't know if you saw that, but if you didn't, go rewind. I hit this foam ball, and it just launches me forward, and I flip backwards in the barrel. And I didn't ever do this many times in one session besides this session here. Now, that puts into perspective how fast we're actually moving in these barrels. Now we're paddling back out the lineup, and it's crazy. I've never had this problem before, but you literally have to pace yourself, because you're seeing these waves and there's so much excitement that you just want to like paddle out of your heart. And like I was so out of breath in some of these situations that I was like, okay, Maddox, breathe. Like, I gotta get out there, but if I race out there too fast, my heart rate's gonna be way too fast. So I'm just gonna fall on another one of these. So I need to pull it together. But like, look at that thing. You don't see that anywhere in the world. It was, yeah, definitely surreal to see this wave doing what it's meant to do. But yeah, so we're back out in the lineup, and it's my turn. So here we go. I'm hoping to just like break the falling streak, but we're pumping down the line, and every single one of these waves is like so insane, because you can just see the wall goes forever and ever. So I make the first section, it spits, but right here what I did wrong was I should have just been on the gas. Now some of these waves at Riffles look at backflip, boom. But what I was saying is some of these waves at Riffles just go perfect, insanely perfect wave, but some of them like start off perfect, but then you got to be like 100 yards down the line. So it is really hard to read these waves. It looks super easy, but there's definitely some skill until you find the right one. When you find the right wave, it's the most perfect speed, just all the way, like probably like 400 500 yards down the reef of perfection. Now it's coming up. You guys are definitely not going to want to miss this, because you're not really going to see too many 1 minute long waves with 3 barrels on them. So it's coming. Just be patient. We're almost there. But I didn't even know this yet. I'm just out here starting to get a little frustrated because I seen some of the boys getting like the sickest waves I ever seen. But sometimes you just got to be patient, and the wave gods will return. You at the nug. You want to get barrels like this, you got to ride third stone design. But check this out, they did. So I thought the guy out the back was gonna spin on this thing, and then all of a sudden I'm like, whoa, he's not gonna go for it. So I just whip it so late. I'm like, screw it, if I fall, doesn't matter. This is the best wave I've ever seen. But somehow I make it. Doesn't really look that crazy yet, but trust me, that drop was one of the nutsest drops that I ever had. So I'm absolutely freaking out. I'm just trying to relax, but then this wave just goes perfection, like I was talking about. So we get the first section right here. I'm just like, oh my god, this is what I came to the Mentawais for. Second section, I could have already kicked out at this point. I'm just losing my mind, like so excited. And right here I'm like, did I press record on the GoPro? So I give it a little check. Oh yeah, we got the clip. Oh wait, third section coming our way. So it just hits this dry reef in section, barrels off its mind, spits, and I am freaking out, as you can tell right here. I can confidently say psych levels were going through the roof. Jamie would be proud. And then I get back out after like a 15-minute paddle. I swear it's the longest paddles you'll ever do in your whole life, but well worth it. But I got a little too excited, and I just went on the third wave of the set, which I don't recommend. I would definitely try to get like the first or second one, but went on the third one and just had whitewash for like a minute long all the way down this wave, which was still really fun. I can't complain, but I just paddled for 15 minutes, and all that's going through my mind is like, please wave, make this worth it. Give me an in-section barrel, give me something. But yeah, it just kind of went a little funky. The reason I was like praying for it so much is because I'm like, no, am I gonna have to do that paddle all over again? But we got one little barrel, so it was worth it. And I could have just kept going for like probably another 50 to 100 yards, but I'm like, I'm gonna kick out because I saw Benjamin Sanchez right there. I'm like, I'm gonna get out before him. Just jokes, I just didn't want to paddle, but maybe I'm not joking. But yeah, look at how shallow it is right there. And the good thing is you guys don't have to sit around for this whole paddle, but I just teleport you straight back into the lineup. And I definitely like used up some of my luck in the beginning of the session, but we're not complaining because we're still catching like 100-yard long waves with a sunset. So right here, little check. Almost thought this one was going to drain, but it ended up going to the second section. Found a little barrel, and then went for a carve right here. But the craziest thing about this wave is just how long it is. Like, I know I just sound like a broken record, but it's seriously like, if you get the opportunity to go to this wave, I highly recommend it. But right here, I'm just regretting, like, why did I go on the first one? Because look at this in section, and this is when it kind of switched on to me. I'm like, something is changing with the tide. I need to start sitting further down on the end because I just was up at the peak for like 45 minutes, and we're not hitting the peak right. Like, they were doing some weird stretching thing, and definitely wasn't as good as right when I got out. It was still firing, but just not 10 out of 10. So Zoe Bradshaw here, she's this little girl. Her mom pushed her into that wave, so I had to let that one slide through, even though I wanted to go. But yeah, here we go. We're just getting on another one. I'm really just trying to make the most out of this session because I don't know when I'm going to see this wave again, especially like this. Hopefully soon, though. Like, that would be a dream to score this wave again. I feel like I learned a lot this session about it, and trust me, it takes some learning. I feel like if I was more experienced at it this wave, the triple barrel I got earlier could have probably been like the longest barrel of all time. But as you guys seen in the beginning of the session, I was getting too deep on a lot of them, so I was like a little bit scared to like just sit there as deep as I could all the way across. And I'm happy I didn't, because if I would have fell on that wave, I think it probably would have haunted me for the rest of my life. Now, I'm sitting down on this in section now, and I was starting to get like just a little bit frustrated because, as you can see, these guys are getting really barreled on the first section, but watch this. Right where I was sitting, they kept falling, like right there. You seen them fall. And I knew that they were all going to be too deep, but I already was so spoiled with the wave I got, so I didn't want to burn anyone. But all of these guys, the wave started stretching because the tide changed, so they were getting super barreled there, but then falling, and it would just barrel all the way across the reef. So I definitely could have like racked up a lot more barrels if I just put my blinders on and went, but it was not how I was going to roll, because I felt so lucky, and it is what it is. And I would have just felt terrible if they like could have made the wave. But yeah, a lot of them were just getting too deep right here, and that's what you'll see a lot on these really long waves. People just like get too deep. So I tried something a little different there. I put the GoPro in my hand and paid for getting too confident with my barrel abilities out on this spot. Lip just landed straight on my head. But this is something I really need to start trying a little bit more of, because I think the angle is really cool. Drop a comment below if you want to see more clips like that right here. So the goal on this wave was just to try to like ride it as far as I could, and like, you know, this little barrel here was kind of a bonus, but I was hoping to get some good turn sections, because just knew this thing was going to go forever, and the day was almost over, so I just needed to get something under the belt. It's pretty crazy how this is the same session, because you see how like the water's turned a little bit choppier and it's just stretching a lot more, but that's something you really find super common in Indo, is the tide does a lot to the waves. But look at this. If I was on this in section, I probably would have just been racking up the barrels, but I got too deep on that one, and I was sitting like in the mid section of the reef, so you can definitely tell. But then it's the worst feeling when you're just kicking out, you just see like a firing barrel. I can't say the worst feeling, because your excitement's also like through the roof, and like it's just gonna help you get through the speeding. Now that's something that I can confidently say about rifles, is the like excitement power you get at this spot is next level. Now when I say excitement power, I mean like you can be getting like 10 waves on the head and somehow you just don't get tired at all, because you're like, oh my god, I just want to get another one of those. So it's kind of like slamming like a Red Bull, or maybe even 2 Red Bulls, but like, yeah, that's like slamming a Red Bull and just getting pounded. You just keep paddling and paddling and paddling. Like, you just don't get tired somehow at this spot. I mean, I surfed for like, I think I paddled out at like maybe 1 o'clock or something, and I surfed till dark. So you can do the math. I think that was like, yeah, it was definitely a long session. But I mean, I didn't even realize I was out and that entire time, just because I just knew that I don't know when I'm ever going to score another wave like this. We stayed out till the very end because I was just hoping to get another crazy one. And, you know, I found a couple fun ones like after that wave, but my bar was just set so high that all of these were just for fun, and it's all for fun. But, yeah, I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but I'm trying to say something. But, yeah, I love just trying to surf as long as possible in the day. And then right here, I probably should have just went back to the boat, but I ended up paying for it again. This in section just kept destroying me at the end of the session, because like, even though I said I wasn't tired, I probably was getting tired, and like, yeah, just starting to mistime it and get caught behind the waves, and then paddling through this shallow spot that just was working me. But yeah, I think we're gonna end the session here. It's probably time to head back to the boat, because there's just like no more light in the sky. Are you kidding me? This literally was the best, top 5 best afternoons of my life. Maybe just top 1. We'll just give it a fuck it. I didn't even think I was gonna surf again. I'm so happy I did. I just got maybe the longest barrel of my life. Woo! Living my best life. Kandui Resort. Got my girlfriend here. Time for a Bacardi. Whoa! You don't see that every day. Longest perfect ride I've ever seen in my whole life. Time to celebrate. Time to celebrate with the Bacardi sweat. Still barreling. I think that's where. Wow. That was definitely up there. I think maybe best day of surfing of my life. Oh, I'm so stoked. Woo. I hope you guys liked the video, and
If you did, make sure to hit that thumbs up. If you want to see the next one, hit that subscribe button. And shoot, we're out. Oh, I'm so out of breath. That's what I am.